And we are back. Nate, want to do the intro?
With another vacuous perspective.
Yeah.
I am your co-host, Nate, with my good friend, Val. Val, what's up?
Hey, man. It's good to be back. What's been happening?
I don't know. I just got here.
You just got here? Yeah, but you've been presumably elsewhere prior to this.
Yeah. I was just work stuff, that.
Oh, yeah, nah, fuck that. Yeah, right on. There was a bit of news today, I haven't really thought about this too much, but look, Ron DeSantis has stepped. What do they call it? He's suspended his campaign to become president or to become the Republican nominee, which leaves Trump and the lady who I forget her name, which is not a good sign, not a good thing.
I actually, to tell you the truth, I don't know who his Republican contenders are. I knew Ron. Just the lady.
Just the lady.
Who's the lady? Which lady?
She was working. I think she was working for the UN or something. Let me have a look.
Republican lady. Let's see if that works.
That won't work. Nikki Haley.
Yeah, that's what I had. Nikki Haley. It did work.
Right. Okay, so it did work. You just type in Republican lady and you get Nikki Haley. So it's Nikki Haley v. Donald Trump now for the candidacy, right?
Right.
And as soon as all these recent guys who have stepped down from the race, who have actually suspended their campaigns, Vivek Ramaswamy, DeSantis, they've all come out and endorsed Trump.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah, okay.
But it sort of speaks to the sort of that politics isn't very genuine, and it hasn't been for a long time. I make this joke that there was a point in history where politicians just openly said, and now we're going to lie. And we all went, okay, fine, go for it. No one gives a shit what you're doing. And then all of a sudden we give a shit what they're doing, right? But it's sort of because they have to attack him to get to the point where they are nominated, they have to go after him and say, he's not the man for the job, I'm the man for the job. And then when they suspend their campaigns or when they cease their will to be a candidate, when they stop
get in
running,
line, right? Yeah.
They then go, oh, no, he's the man for the job.
It is a bit peculiar, isn't it, the way they do that?
Well, it's I can't think of any other industry where that happens.
What's with the endorsing? What is that? So is that a signal to their supporters that, look, now that I'm stepping down, this is my candidate. This is who I'm voting for.
And who knows if there's a bit of politicking going on in the sense that maybe they want a gun for a VP role. Yeah. Maybe if they feel like they, be supportive enough, maybe he gives them the VP. I don't think so. I think he'd already have a pretty good idea who his running mate would be. I don't think he's picking that on the maybe he is. You never know. With the Trump
you think
stuff.
They've probably got a very, very short list.
Yeah, you would think so. So that's all kind of wrapped up now, I reckon. So we've got our race, which is what we thought it would be: Trump versus Joe Biden. Likely. Is likely. We're going again.
And for the rematch. Biden, when do they announce their VPs?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because after our discussion previously, apparently they're going with Kamala.
They have to.
Yeah.
But what would that? Again, it's about messages. It's it's West Wing shit. It's what message does that send if you're not going to run with the last VP who got you the presidency? What is that saying? Are you scared? Because you shouldn't be scared because you beat him, so it's cool. Why would you mix up the order?
Apparently, statistically, she is the least popular vice president. I think
there's always going to be one other
stats,
person. Though. There's always going to be those stats. Because I've read the same thing about Biden. I've read the same thing about Trump, being very unpopular. So, and it's normal for a candidate to lose popularity 4 years into a term because people have had a gutful, even though they're just doing their job or whatever it is.
I think if Biden just plays the status quo, I feel like he's going to lose. Though that's the way I see it. But I'm always wrong. So
yeah. So if we just get all of your thoughts out, we'll know exactly what won't happen.
Just do the opposite.
Therefore, be able to well, not knowing is knowing. In this case, if you're in a 2-man race, not knowing is knowing. You know, it's like
it's the flip side of the same coin.
Ages ago, we talked about animals that predict the weather, and one of them got it wrong every time in a row, and that's as good as getting it right every time.
That's my man. Yeah. You just have to know what he's trying to communicate.
Yes, and if it's always the opposite, then it should be crystal clear what the weather's going to be like, or if it's going to be an early spring. I think was the prediction. So that's that happened, and I don't know why, but I just thought I'd bring that up. Not about the weather animals. I'm talking about the Republican race.
Yes. So that caught your attention, did it?
Yeah,
it's going to become more
just
and more
Trump's
relevant.
back on the telly again. You know, 2015 to 2019 or 2020 even and beyond, we were hearing a lot from Donald Trump. Even if it was just something he said that day, a soundbite, a tweet, something. We got something every day. It was a crazy time to be alive. Because we've never had that access to the president before.
Yeah, we pretty much get access to his whole every day. Brain.
That never happened. And the media were loving it because he was just stirring up shit. And so they were loving it.
So he's been allowed every day. He's been allowed back on Twitter, hasn't he? But he hasn't taken them up on their offer. Is that the...
I don't know. All I heard is that they reversed the ban or whatever, or took away the thing that was limiting his account. Whether or not he logs in is sort of the important thing.
Because I think that's why he did the Truth Social thing. I doubt he would go back to Twitter because he's the only one keeping people on Truth Social.
Wow.
So I think he's...
What else is on Truth Social? You mentioned last week that you were thinking about getting an account.
That was my homework.
Follow the trail of it.
Yeah.
Did you
I didn't do that. No, I didn't.
I'm okay with that. But you just wonder what's on there, hey? You wonder what's out there.
I'm sure it's much the same as the rest of it. Yeah. The Truth, apparently.
The Truth. Yeah, it's in the title.
So you were complaining about the weather just before. I don't know if this happened, but I heard somewhere.
You mean before we were recording? Because it wasn't about the chipmunks or whatever that to predict the weather. Before we recorded, I was just saying that I hate this place, being Perth, because of the weather, even though people think it's the selling point of this city.
It's such a beautiful day today, but I know your point. It was quite warm on the weekend. I heard parts of regional WA was supposed to hit 50. Did that eventuate?
50. That's awful. I bloody hope not. It'll be your marble bars. Sure. It'll be it'll be a marble bar. That's
situation.
Where it'll be, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they love a good barbecue up there, don't they?
Well, you don't need a barbecue. You just chuck the meat on the ground.
Yeah, it's the earth becomes a barbecue.
I
always find that weird, right?
50 degrees is too
hot.
I
mean, if the temperature is 50 degrees, that means the surface temperature is, because when people fry eggs on the ground or like whatever in the sun, like that has to be hotter than 50, because I think you can slow cook an egg at like 60 something degrees.
100% that the road is hotter than the air. 100% that it's
How
hotter.
hot does the road get then?
It must get quite hot.
Quite hot.
Haven't you ever had that situation where you go to the beach, you got your thongs on, I don't know, you lose the thongs, whatever. You got to run on the hot sand, and then you got the hot road, and then you got the pavement. Yeah. You just haven't done that in a long time, right? That's all that's happened there.
Oh no! Now that you say it, I did it very recently. Yeah,
but you're a smart man. You go out with the appropriate footwear most of the time. Most of the time.
I got caught thongless on the weekend.
You did get caught thongless on a hot road.
Yes.
So this exact thing happened to you, even though I sort of said that it would never happen to you now.
Well, no, it wasn't even just a hot road now that I think about it. It was also like a stony sort of car park. It was quite problematic. But my friend, being much more manly than me, gave me his flip-flops.
And he was
just barefoot.
He just went for it.
But you forget, I'm an office I'm of the office variety.
Oh.
This is a problem. So whereas he is more blue collar, right? He can handle, fucking life, physical, like the weather, things like that. No, I need climate controlled carpet, all the corners of the desks, sandpapered down to rounded corners.
Yes.
So like a childproof
because
type
you're
situation.
brittle and you could break any minute.
Yeah, I'm just not exposed to.
Even though you run marathons and shit, you're a brittle man. Is that what I'm hearing?
Sometimes. Actually, I swam 12 Ks in the open water on the weekend.
I'd be a very brittle man had I swam.
Loving K. Come here.
If I swam and K, I'd say dead.
No, K is tough. Like, to do your bronze medallion, you only have to swim 400 meters.
Wow. Do you reckon I got that?
No.
What? You don't think I got my bronzy?
I don't think – I think it's 400 metres in less than 9 minutes.
That sounds
very
doable.
fast. It's not very fast, but we could try it out. Do you want to go to the pool?
What, and do my bronzy? Is this bricks from the bottom of the pool?
You're going to get a bronze medallion from me. You won't get one from the proper authorities. But
yeah, but you can certify that shit. If you put me through the tests and I do them, give me the medallion. That's all I'm saying. Do they actually give out medallions for that shit, or is it just a certificate with the picture of a bronze medallion?
I think it's a figure of speech. I don't think you get anything.
Yeah,
maybe they did. Maybe they did once upon a time.
You get nothing at all.
I know. I'll ask. I know someone that just did it.
If you're enrolled in the bronze medallion program right now and you're thinking of backing out, we've just given you the best reason to. There's no medallion. There's no medallion.
I was really struggling in this 12K as well. After about a K, I started encountering a lot of stingers.
Stingers,
which are just jellyfish in the water that have stinging tails, and they're brutal.
Like a blue bottle?
No, they're not going to kill you.
Do blue bottles kill you?
I think a blue bottle will kill you.
No. Make you very sad. But anyway, so you were swimming alongside the stingers.
Yeah, and I got one on the face, quite a few on the shoulders. I was one direct hit away from calling the whole thing off. So I was down there with my kayaker. He was the guy that lent me the thongs at the end. So he's my kayaker for the Rottnest Channel swim. And he is charged with making sure that I do enough training that I don't perish on the day. Great.
And he's also there for moral support and to make sure that you're making sense, because you can go a bit delirious.
That's it. And lots of snacks, jelly beans.
Banana.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
So I was very close to calling it off because it was unswimmable. I don't know where these things hang out. I heard that they live or reside in bands along the coast. So from, say, 50 meters out to 200 meters out, you're going to have stingers. But once you're beyond that, then you're fine.
Bloody hell.
That's what I've been told anyway. So I start encountering some stingers.
Sounds terrifying.
I tell the kayaker, I'm like, let's go deeper. Like, we need to get out. I don't know what to do. I'm like, let's go deeper. I haven't done that.
What does deeper mean? Like further out, like the one direction you're going in. You're saying we have to keep going that way.
Well, I was going up the coast. So I swam from Cottesloe to City Beach.
Right. So you wanted to go out a bit so that you weren't in their band, and then you could just sort of have a free run.
Yeah, and I ended up right in their band. I didn't know they were everywhere. It was a stinger orgy of some kind that I was invited to.
Wow, you were there.
There was in my field of view. So
you were swimming in the channel with them, essentially. You're swimming in the same direction as them, or you're
well, they're just like floating around. I don't know what they're doing out there. Like, they don't have a brain.
Bloody hell.
And it's hard to see their tails because they're quite translucent, and their tentacles are even more translucent than the head of them or the body of them, whatever you want to call it. And so they just waft in the current. So they're the tails on them are about half a meter, 30 centimeters to 60 centimeters, I reckon.
That's big.
And you don't see them. They're almost invisible.
Yeah. Well, that's got to be a trait that they've picked up for evolutionary reasons, which is probably why they outlasted the Tasmanian tiger, right? Probably
they
why
did. They seem to proliferate quite well. It got me thinking about totally a lot of things. What do they eat? What are they doing with those
That's
things?
what I'm wondering, because they're just floating around, right? That's what you observed, but you weren't observing one of them. You were observing a lot of them at one time. It's kind of like looking at ants from afar and being like, they don't seem to be doing anything.
But they're just hoping something. And their stingers are quite like decent. Are they supposed to get fish with them? Like, do fish swim into them and they get like?
Well, that'd be a reason to be invisible, right? So that things swim into you, cops a little sting on the way through, and then what? You go down and eat it? What the fuck? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. And they're not going to kill me, I don't think. I mean, no,
unless they worked out that if they all went at once, like a couple of thousand of them at once went for your face, they might be able to get you.
Yeah, an allergic reaction or something. Let me just move this guy away from the wall. Hold on. Excuse me.
Luffingham is getting involved because
you sit here. Thank you.
He's getting involved because he wants to be part of the show. If you want to be part of the show, you just email us, vacuousperspective@mail.com.
Hey, so I mean, the weather was quite hot on the weekend, and it got me thinking about Mars a little bit.
Yeah,
because they just detected a whole bunch of water ice on Mars. Like, we know there's water ice there, but they have detected ice sheets below the surface, kilometers thick.
Okay.
Enough that if you melted
it, got water.
You could cover the entire planet. You melted these. There's enough buried water ice that if you melted it, it would create an ocean 2 meters deep over the entire planet.
Oh my God! It's the place from Interstellar.
What happened in Interstellar?
There's a planet that is covered in water, and then it's like knee deep. It's knee deep. So this is a bit different. 2 meters is a lot different to knee deep, but they're in knee deep water running like across this water planet.
Oh, so, I don't even remember. I probably need to see Interstellar again.
2 meters is you're underwater. So you got a bit of ocean there. If it always sounds really simple though, doesn't it? You just melt the ice, right? Now you're talking about ice sheets kilometers thick underneath the ground. Is it as simple as popping a hole in the top and then shooting it with a laser and melting that shit? And then
it is that simple.
It is that simple.
Yeah, pop the top.
And the water would just come up. How's the water coming up?
I don't know. I think about it like oil and gas is locked up on Earth. I think about sort of pockets of water ice like locked away.
Unless it's just one big one, and then they can just pop a hole in the top, put the machine in. You know the machine?
Yeah, the hot machine.
Put that in. No, not the hot machine. I'm talking like, let's drill it out, because we need a way for it to come out so that it creates an ocean.
A pipe. Need a pipe.
And just chuck the pipe on the other side, and it's like filling up a swimming pool, except it's a planet-sized swimming pool.
We need to stick something else down there so it displaces the water as well. So we need to find something to put in.
No, you don't. You just need like a sprinkler system. Do the old, the circle spin, like do a 360 circle spinner. And then let the ocean sort of figure itself out, because the topography will be fine. You'll still have the biggest mountain in the solar system. It's fine. It'll be there.
Yeah, they got the biggest mountain.
Yep.
I think they have the biggest trench.
Oh, yes, I think you're right.
Mars has a lot of natural features going on with it, doesn't it? The red planet.
Yeah.
We have to congratulate Japan as well for being the 5th country to land on the moon.
Yeah, that's huge. That is huge. Grats. What did they do? They got. I thought that was still happening.
Well, they recently tried. Remember, maybe 2 months ago, we were talking about something. They had a software glitch, and their probe crash landed, a very hard landing into the moon.
Yeah. Okay.
This time, they've got this uncrewed craft. I don't know if it's called Moon Sniper or Slim. It's one of the two. It landed I've
heard one of those, but there's a lot of those Slims and Plims, and
can't keep up.
You can't keep up.
But this time it landed, and it's I don't know if they've fixed this, but the solar generators aren't working. So right now it's just relying entirely on batteries, which I'm sure won't last very long if they can't fix it.
So this is dire.
I think it's a problem. I think they'll know by now. It was yesterday. Yesterday I read about it, but I think it happened on Saturday, I think, when they landed this thing. So I don't know how long the batteries last, but you would think not. I don't know. You think it would, it's a problem. It is definitely a problem. And speaking of ice on other planets, I mean, India, so they were the 4th country to land on the moon.
Yeah.
Before Japan. And that was only pretty recently when they landed something near the South Pole, and that's where all the water
end
ice
of last
is.
year, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're the first people to land around there. That's the area that everyone wants to go to now. That's like the hot
spot.
place, hot property.
Yeah. Yep.
That's like the Florida of the moon.
The Florida of the moon.
Or where's the place? Where's Trump's palace?
That's in Florida.
Yeah, but whereabouts? There's an area it's Palm Beach or some shit.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, that's like the South Pole of the moon. All you need is ice, and everyone wants to be there. It's weird.
Yeah, it seems so basic, doesn't it?
I've got ice. I've got ice right here.
Yeah. Yep.
No one seems to care. Oh, well.
We do need it, though, wherever we go. I mean, it'd be handier if they had spaceships already there or something, and you go, great, they've got spaceships already there. Great.
What about just some culture, like some cool music or something? Like no water, no ice, but they got great jazz.
Yeah, maybe it's, yeah.
Isn't that enough to go?
So was there ever a time where Mars was in that Goldilocks zone where it could have supported life?
I think it's confirmed that it used to have flowing water, but I don't know what the temperature. I mean, obviously, it must have been warmer than it is now because it's lost all its. I think it's lost the vast majority of its atmosphere as well. I think some people say that it may have had a catastrophic. I don't know. Who knows what? I've read about this stuff. I'm just spitballing ideas here. I think I've heard that one theory is it had a magnetic pole shift.
Those aren't good.
No, and it had a very weak or limited magnetic field for some time, and it was more affected bombarded by cosmic rays and stuff, and its atmosphere just got tore up.
Yeah, and probably the water as well, the surface water.
Well, as it gets less atmosphere, it will get
the water
gets colder because doesn't have that sort of insulating blanket that the atmosphere provides, and then the water freezes up and just gets locked away like it now is. Great.
So what I'm saying is if there was life there, we could find it underneath the surface, right?
Or evidence of maybe, former life, like we have snails. I've got snails on my mind. Like we have fossils on Earth. There'll be fossils on Mars if they get, I don't know, petrified in stone or something. I don't know how fossils work. Fossils are pretty weird, hey?
Yeah, but we dig up stuff that's millions of years old.
Yeah, I think that surely there would be the equivalent on Mars.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a fossil on Earth. And we haven't even got one person on Mars. So, I mean, who's finding these fossils? We're relying on the bloody Perseverance to start digging them up.
Yes, robots, man. I think every solution to every potential future problem could probably be solved by robots.
Yeah.
Like the whole LiDARing of the Amazon. We'll just LiDAR the whole Mars planet.
Yeah, LiDAR it up. We'll probably just be able to see all the fossils. Probably don't even have to dig for them anymore. The tech will just be like, take a picture.
It does ruin the fun of being a sort of, archaeologist, specializing in dinosaurs, wouldn't it? Because they're just like, there it is right there. Where? Just under there. Yeah, there it is. It's removed the fun part of it for them.
Yeah,
which I assume is all the digging and the chipping.
Yeah. Do you think that is fun though? Because you see a picture. Yeah, I don't think it's fun. I think it's a pretty poor choice of job, to be honest. Because you see
There's a lot of archaeologists out there going, shut the fuck up, man. We hate the chipping. We hate the digging. We want the tech. Of course they want the tech.
It's like months and months. They say you find something, you're like, cool, it's a toenail of a bandicoot, right? And you think there might be more of the bandicoot, hidden away.
Because you're an archaeologist, yeah.
Because you're an archaeologist. You want to see what this thing was up to, what it's been eating or whatever, what its teeth look like. I don't know. And then this incredibly intricate process of, it's not just like coloring in between the lines or something as that's sort of satisfying, but this will be months and months of like brushing, but don't brush too hard. Don't brush too hard. You'll like brush all the important stuff away.
Yeah, well, you got to chip away, then you got to dig away, then you're going to swishy swash, then you're going to brush. It's a lot.
And you don't even get it. It goes to surely it goes to a museum or something. I mean, is it illegal to have a fossil?
I wouldn't say it's illegal. Because they sell them down at the they just sell them.
Does anyone get fossilized? Like, can you elect to do it in your will rather than being crisped or just buried as a body?
I'm getting embalmed, and also I'm getting like the full. I'm getting the full treatment, full organs embalming. Out, brain out through the nose. Book of the Dead.
Yeah.
Full mummification, bro.
Well, they were doing it for a reason.
Yeah. Well, because they hadn't figured out how to fossilize you. But do you know the process of fossilization? That wouldn't really work for a human, right? Like, you're relying on you bury them in stone, let's say. You let it you let the body decompose, and then something has to go in and solidify to create the fossil. So something goes into the cavity. What is it? I can't remember, like wood or something, or just
I don't know.
It's something like that. And all you're left with is the shape of the fossil, of the actual animal or bone or whatever. It's not the bone itself. So yeah, you don't want to get fossilized, but let's get mummified. Let's get some quotes for some mummification locally done.
Surely someone does that.
Surely. I mean, ever since that Brandon Fraser movie in the 90s, surely the rates of mummification went way up. Surely.
Have you seen his new movie, The Whale?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen it. I hear it's really good, and it's won a shitload of awards.
I know. I need to see it because he's as big as a ballerina in it.
Yes.
And I just want to see what he can do with that physique, what he gets up to.
Yep. Not a lot, you'd imagine. But I've seen that the movie's high praise. And he won awards and stuff. That was Brendan Fraser's comeback. He can do the Mummy 5 now, whatever the fuck they're up to. He can do that.
That's going on the homework list, by the way, The Whale. I think it's already on there, but it's going back on.
Yeah, well, if you double down, it's probably more likely to get done. What's the last bit of homework you remember doing?
Oh, doing?
Yeah.
Well, I reckon what comes to mind is the Rubik's Cube. I don't know if it was ever set as official homework.
I think it was.
Yeah, I think it.
Wow, that's a long time, bro. But well done on kicking that goal and getting that done. That's exciting.
If I didn't have to go to work, I would do all the homework that I say I'm going to do and report back. I would do it.
Yeah, but you've got an ever-growing list of homework. You're not chipping away. You've got this growing list, and it's good because you can pick and choose. Like, you can be like, I don't want to do any homework, or I want to do that homework, Or even just passively you went, oh, that was homework. I've just realized that I was meant to do this anyway, like the Rubik's Cube one.
That's one reason why I assign myself homework. Even just saying I'm going to do it as homework makes it more real.
Wow. For me, in my brain, it does the opposite. I've already done it. If I say it, I've already done it. And then I don't have to do it.
How does that work?
It doesn't. It doesn't work at all.
Oh, I see.
No, it doesn't work at all.
So would you be an archaeologist or a guy that likes animals that currently exist? Like living animals. What do you call that? Someone that specializes in living animals?
Well, it depends. Are they sick? Because that would be a veterinarian. Or you'd have like zookeepers.
There's someone that looks for new
conservationists.
New animals. Yeah, I guess a conservation.
Animal conservation. Maybe just more focused on the fauna. Sort of fuck.
Because like a botanist is someone that's interested in plants.
Yes.
And they're the ones, I'm thinking of botanists that were on the ships that came to Australia, and they're taking notes.
Yeah, drawing flowers. Yep.
Yeah, all the new things, trying to find these. Excuse me. So, because I came across some carnivorous snail. Well, I didn't.
You
But
didn't?
in Papua New Guinea, there's nine newly discovered species of meat-eating land snails.
What are they eating?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
How
because
grim is it getting eaten by a snail?
Well,
how useless
no,
do you have to be? What its prey? What is a snail's prey? Getting caught by a snail is embarrassing.
No. Okay, let's be clear here. You've just said that they feed on meat. At no point did I hear predator. It's not a predator. It's a scavenger, like 100% scavenger.
I saw this thing chasing down something or trapping it, like trapping it in a corner. I don't know. I don't know how the snails.
I thought the main thing about snails was they're pretty slow. I thought that was their main thing.
That's why I was so embarrassed for its prey. Well, they're not. It's definitely a slow snail.
Look, wherever there are carnivorous snails kicking about and doing okay, you've got a whole bunch of slow-moving prey out there.
There's nothing slower than a snail. Maybe, I'm with you. I think it has to be.
I think we just need to remove this stigma once and for all. That snails are slow and whatnot because they're catching shit. Okay, let's just talk facts. They are fast, right? Snails, very zippy.
They might not be They might not be fast, but they might be very intelligent.
Okay, so you want them to remain slow.
It's not unforeseeable that a snail could make a snare, catch a bunny, and then eat the bunny whilst it was trapped.
Yeah, I much prefer the Komodo dragon style. You just give them a lick and then you follow them around for a couple of weeks. I think way better.
I mean, are there poisonous snails? I know that some snails are poisonous to eat, but I mean, I think a snail that injected some poison would be pretty impressive. Because I've only ever seen garden variety snails.
Yeah, the very fast ones.
No.
Well, they must be fast because they have this. They can catch prey.
These ones, yes, but the garden variety snail is the slowest thing going around. A snail is.
I said earlier, we're trying to remove that stigma of the snails being slow. They're not slow, mate. We had unrealistic expectations for them as a species.
You're right. By putting them in the slow category, we're not doing them we're doing them a disservice. Yeah, so Papua New Guinea has a lot of undeveloped rainforests. I'm told they have less than 1% of the world's land, but over 5% of the world's biodiversity. I like that in a country.
Wow.
I like that a lot. 5% is pretty good,
Say that again.
They've got less than 1% of the world's land, but over 5% of the world's biodiversity.
Wow, that is incredible.
But that's only because it's undeveloped. Like as soon as these, sort of people,
big cities,
get
big
in
business,
there, yeah, we'll chop that down. We'll all be soybean farms soon.
I guess the contributing factors are what you just said. They're not developed, right? The other thing is where it's located on the planet. Tropical, lots of life kicking about. It's not a desert in Papua. It's a rainforest, right? So you got a lot of biodiversity. You got a lot of dense vegetation, and therefore you could have dense animal numbers.
Luffingham. So I'm just going to deal with him very quickly. Now, this window is too clean for you. It's too clean.
Yes, the massive issue at the moment being the window's too clean. Luff can see out the window.
And he's probably loving it.
I'm back.
Having a great time.
I'm back. Hey, so I was thinking, it could be the carnivorous snails that are actually protecting these rainforests from development.
Right. What, you think they'll hunt humans? What are you talking about?
Well, so they got all this biodiversity,
mm-hmm.
and no one's touched the rainforests because there's carnivorous snails in them.
And whatever else, man.
And all the rest of it.
Yeah. I'm sure that's not the scariest thing we can find in the rainforest. I'm sure there are scarier things. Are there scarier things?
PNG.
Because like I've said in the past, man, we get a bad rap for living in the most deadly country in the world, Australia, which if you're growing up here, you know, it's amazing you're alive because of all the treachery out there. What am I looking for? I'm looking for sort of predators.
Yeah, I've got an article here. Dangerous animals in Papua New Guinea. 7 species to avoid.
Yeah, perfect. Great, 7. It's a list.
Okay, the first one is a cassowary.
Oh, so it's a big bird.
Apparently it's second only in size to the ostrich.
Wow. Are they land birds?
Yeah.
Do cassowaries fly?
No, it's got to be a land bird. It's the second heaviest bird in the world.
I've seen a pelican fly, man. That makes no sense.
I think it's like seeing an emu fly. It just wouldn't happen. And these are bigger than emus.
So don't fuck with them. First one.
This picture doesn't look as big as an emu, though. I mean, this picture looks like just looks like a chicken or something that I'm looking at.
What's the actual? Because isn't cassowary the family of species?
Not that I know. I've never heard of it before, but they've got dagger-like claws that can easily pierce human skin, and they've been compared to dinosaurs with their large statures and formidable talons.
Yeah, scary boys, very scary.
Okay, saltwater crocodile. Yeah, I mean,
yep,
literally a dinosaur. Okay.
Yeah, be careful of the dinosaurs. Yep.
A Papuan taipan.
Don't fuck with the snakes. They're not likely to fuck with you, but good.
Apparently one of the most dangerous snakes in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, it's also Australian. It's endemic in Australia.
Yeah. We got them kicking around.
Also known as the common taipan, but this one's
and we should make a note when we've got them kicking around as well. So saltwater crocs got them kicking around.
So yeah, at the moment,
nowhere near me, but yes, they are out there.
Taipans have the longest fangs of all venomous snakes in Papua New Guinea and Australia.
Yeah. And just quickly, you're talking about the distance from Perth to Darwin, let's say, when you're talking about saltwater crocs, right?
Yeah.
Or Perth to, I don't know, if Broome maybe that far north. To be scared of crocodiles if you live in Perth would be like being scared of a predator that lives in Spain and you live in further, like Russia.
Yeah, I've never thought about it like that, but that 100%.
Yeah. I'm really scared of the animal 4 countries away. Sharks, though, got them in the water. They're kicking around. All right.
More than 1,000 deaths are caused by snake bites in PNG each year, most of which are delivered by the Papuan taipan.
Yeah.
In some parts of the country, there are more than 60 taipans per hectare.
Wow, that's a lot of taipans.
So a hectare is 100 metres by 100 metres.
And there could be 60 in there, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's like.
But surely we're talking about dense rainforest here. You know what I mean? Like they're up in trees, they're in the they're in the grass.
You'd hope so.
They're not gonna, or I don't know what would be better, having like a flat plain where you can see for miles with 60 taipans, or whether or not you want to have that ground cover so that maybe you don't have to see them all the time.
Okay, the giant tarantula.
Okay, spiders. Don't fuck with the spiders. That's an easy one.
That's an easy one, yeah. They've got more than – PNG has 100 different species of spiders of the 900 species of spider discovered worldwide.
So they've got
One
nearly
in 9.
1/9, yeah, of the whole world
of the world's spiders. Okay. The Kokoda Track, which runs for 60 miles through treacherous terrain across blah, 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 is known for its exotic biodiversity. Okay, well, I mean, I've always wanted to go there, so that's cool.
That is cool.
The trail was once the site of a series of World War II battles between Australia and Japan. Soldiers who fought the Kokoda Track campaign reported seeing large fishing net-like cobwebs covering the rainforest floor of this region.
Wow. Is that multiple spiders working together or one really industrious spider?
Working together, I'm going to go with. However, it says, this is anecdotal, 1 or 2 men even expressed their horror when coming across giant jet black spiders, some with a thorax and abdomen the size of a puppy.
Yeah, that's a bit frightening, isn't it? Everyone's seen the pictures on the internet of big spiders, really big spiders. I don't think anything could prepare you for that.
No. I mean, but they can't kill humans, so why are they on this list of dangerous animals? Oh, infections from spider bite to the biggest
they'll
killers.
make you very unhappy. Yeah.
Yeah. Abandoned sea crate?
An abandoned sea crate. That's just a box bobbing in the ocean.
But what's in the box?
Well, we're about to find out. Some sort of predator.
It's a sea eel, snake.
Okay, so don't get in the water.
With venom 10 times more potent than that of a rattlesnake. Oh, and then it's your friend, I think. Well, I don't know.
My friend? I have a friend.
It's not really. It's not the Komodo, but it's a crocodile monitor lizard. It looks like a Komodo.
So yeah, the monitor lizard is. We've got them in Australia as well. Should tick that.
It's a close relative of Indonesia's.
They look like big iguanas, like very big iguanas, and they're probably in the same sort of family tree as your Komodos and your other reptiles.
Yeah, so cousins of the Komodo.
And the reason I know about, what are they called again?
The crocodile monitor lizard.
So yeah, the monitor lizard. I think monitor lizard is the sort of branch of the monitor lizard. So this is a crocodile monitor lizard. This is some sort of hybrid. They're at Yoda's planet of Dagobah.
He's got monitor lizard. Really?
Yeah, he's got monitor lizards. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, no. If you watched it again, you'd see him. I think when Luke first goes there, you get a good shot of a couple of monitor lizards having a bit of a lick.
Yeah, okay.
Doing their little tongue thing.
Yeah, so like you were saying, like Komodo dragons, they just give you a little nibble.
Really?
And apparently they've got 50 different types of bacteria.
The monitor lizards do. I thought they were friendly.
Oh no, this is a list of killers.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, yeah, go on.
And apparently the infection, the bacteria will condemn any wound to deadly infection.
Wow.
It's a shit way to go. Like, infection is not, like, if you're going to pick a list of, I don't know, they're all pretty grim, but infection's one of the worst ways to go. Surely.
You don't want to get infected by 10 billion types of bacteria with one little lick or bite or whatever. That's not fun. That's not going to be fun.
And then the box jellyfish is the last one.
Is that number 1 on the list?
It's the last one. I don't know if they're working in.
I thought you were doing a top 7. Yeah, look, don't get in the water. Really easy. I remember going on holiday up north in Queensland and it was like, oh man, it looks beautiful out there. And you'd be like, yeah, you can't go in though. Why not? Jellyfish, they'll kill you. Right, great. So when can you go in the water? Winter. Great. It's still warm though in winter? It is. Great. But we can't go in now even though it's really hot. Nah, I wouldn't. Okay.
Yeah, so Papua New Guinea is not on the top of the travel destinations for me right now after reading that.
Well, maybe you just need a bit more of the biodiversity on the planet to falter more. You just need a few more species to go extinct so that you can justify going to the most biodiverse place on the planet because we have a dwindling biodiversity. And perhaps it's not forever. This amazing biodiversity, maybe it's not forever.
Oh, it's on its way down. That's for sure.
Yeah, it would be.
What was that documentary that David Attenborough had not so long ago on Netflix? Did you see that one?
Was it about how the planet's going to burst into flames?
Pretty much. It was about the lack of biodiversity and how by losing diversity or biodiversity specifically, how that trickles down into the world becoming a fiery ball. Yes.
It's good, isn't it?
It was compelling, and it's his voice.
Is that,
he can say whatever he wants.
Is that true, though?
The way he put together the argument sounded legit.
George Carlin likes to say, the planet is fine, the people are fucked, right? And he said, if we all left tomorrow, the planet would be fine. So I guess to this point, right, yes, there may need to be another evolution again down the line, down the track. Maybe there's like what happened to the dinosaurs.
Well, the world will be fine because whatever's left will continue to evolve and occupy whatever niches are available. So say the world heats by 4 or 5 degrees, right? Average. Catastrophic for life as we know it. Catastrophic.
Yes.
But it'll be good for some things. And there'll be just a new paradigm.
Right.
It could just become like a Venus situation. You get Venus's horrible caustic atmosphere and very hot temperatures are apparently caused by potentially by a runaway global warming type situation that we could be going through. And so it continues in the sense that, so the problem with global warming, as far as I understand it, obviously very, very complex issue, have no idea myself, but as the globe warms, for example, if you're going to just take one aspect of it, you're losing the ice caps, and the ice caps are white and reflect light. Water is dark and absorbs light. So as it gets hotter through our burning of, through affecting the atmosphere, if we are or not, as who knows if we're doing it or not, but the Earth is getting hotter. Because the Earth is getting hotter, the ice is melting, and therefore less light is being reflected and more is being absorbed, and so we're only going to get hotter if taking that one.
Yeah, unless we get the big fan.
The big fan, yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, the world, it's kind of, we're so world-centric, aren't we? I mean, do we really matter that much?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about it. I don't really know about it, but I mean, I'm enjoying my time here.
On the planet?
Yeah, just in the universe.
Yeah, no, it's good, isn't it?
I think my job is just to perceive the universe.
Yeah, but just to bring you back to that other point you were just saying before, if we were doing this podcast, but it was 150,000 years ago, our output into the world of what we consume and push out, very low. First of all, there's not a lot of food. We're like scurrying around for a berry here and there. Right? We'll eat that, we'll shit it out, right? Have some water from the stream. My point is impact to the environment, very little. Almost zero in the sense that we are just part of that environment. It's when we came along, meaning modern humans, and said, no, I want to be nice and cool in my house, for example. we need coal-fired power because
we need energy.
Well, we need energy, yeah, for industry. Then we started making lots of money. Then
and
we went,
cheapest
this is
way
great.
of
How good is
producing
this?
the energy, yes.
Had more people, more kids, because we can, because we could afford it. And that, I think the way that we live in modern times is not comparable to a caveman in terms of their output.
It almost seems a bit greedy, doesn't it, the way we live now?
Absolutely. Especially, I'm pretty bad at like finishing a meal, let's say. So I'll put, if I pop it in the bin, right? I mean, that's almost fine in a sense, but like really you should be shitting on the ground so that the nutrients and stuff go back to the world. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
It's all going back in. Your poo goes somewhere. It goes on a pretty cool journey through the pipes, but it's still going back in somehow, one way or another.
Good. I'm glad we're not shooting it off into the atmosphere.
So that would be wasteful because it'd take a lot of what's it cost? $10,000 a kilo to get something into orbit.
Something like that.
I've never weighed my poo, but I'm thinking 100 grams. So it would cost $1,000 to send my poo into orbit. I mean, that seems like a business, if you ask me.
Yeah, what, just poo?
Well, I mean,
for just poo,
some people don't like the planet. Okay, this is my theory. Some people want the planet to burn. Okay,
right. So that's their best way to be wasteful and ineffective.
Deprive the earth of their nutrients.
And whatnot.
Yes,
all that. Yep.
Yes.
Okay, it's a terrible thing, really. Surely there's better ways to do it as well. Couldn't we incinerate it here on Earth? Would that have the same effect?
I don't know if it does. Would it? I don't, because the
give
matter
them
still
the
exists.
nitrogen to take home with them. Keep it under lock and key. I don't know, whatever the fuck you want to do with it. It makes me want to watch an episode of Hoarders because those people are amazing and they produce a lot of output, but they just keep it around them, which is great.
Oh, I can't watch those shows because it's too close to home because I have hoarding tendencies.
I went over a friend's house on the weekend to play some Dungeons and Dragons. Never done that before, but we went over there.
Yeah.
And I walk into his house and it's a beautiful house and it was immaculate and in very good nick. And the first thing I said is, mate, place is a mess. Absolute mess. Like I'm embarrassed, to be here. Obviously he knows it's a joke. His kids were there. They were very well behaved. We actually needed to borrow their computers to do our D&D session. So we had to kick them off the computer that they were enjoying, having a great time. I said, oi. He was like, oi, come on, and they did it. No, like if that was me and I was a kid, I would just be like, fuck off, mum and dad. I would have been awful. Right?
Yeah. Sure.
But these kids just, boom, went to the other room, did their thing. And I just said to him, mate, your kids are nightmares. Kid's an absolute nightmare. Bloody hell. In keeping with the sarcasm.
Yeah. How did your Dungeons and Dragons go?
It's pretty good. Like I found myself because like it's all done via like a web browser now. So no one's sitting at the table with the board and the dice rolling and the pen and paper. We're all on our laptops or on a computer close by to each other, and we're rolling dice all through that. And the dungeon master, who was a friend
dungeon
of mine,
master, that's what's was
assigning all the things, like bringing the enemies in when we had enemies enter a room.
And they make it up completely, right?
No, this is a form. This is like a game that you buy, but you could make it up. Yeah, you could absolutely make it up. But this is like a full video game that you buy. And we're sort of saying, how many sessions would you need to finish this game? And he said something like, I don't know, 5 or 6 or something sessions. So it's a long sort of thing. And I was reading up on my character and making sure that I was like,
tell me about your character.
I can't remember. I was a fighter. I had a sword. I had a dagger as well.
Oh, that's not that. You're not a dagger guy. You're a sniper. You're a bow and arrow. Long
I'm a
range.
big sword guy.
No, you're an artillery dude. You're an artillery man.
No, I'm not.
Don't tell me who you are.
No, I'm not. No, I've played like Skyrim and every RPG with a sword in it, and all I've ever built in every single one of those video games is a barbarian class.
Okay.
Like big guy, big sword. That's all I care about.
Right.
I don't want a one-handed sword either. Like I don't want a shield. So why would I have a one-handed sword?
You want the biggest, most phallic sword.
Yeah, I want to be like the mountain from Game of Thrones and just swing a big, stupid sword that would never work in real life. I
like being the esoteric, like non-binary, like potion master, kind of the magic dude.
Yeah, you like being a bit of a wizard or something.
Yeah, I want to be a wizard. The guy with the sword doesn't really like excite me very much.
Yeah,
because I sort of feel like I get that, but the magician, being a wizard, I'm about that.
Problem is that the fighter's name was Val, so I had to pick it. I was the fighter. I had a backstory. It was something like I'll run head first into like danger. You know, I'll go straight in. If there's danger, I'll go in.
Yeah, classic.
So I use that because the dungeon master mentioned that if we do things that are like true to our character, you know, that he'll give us little like bonuses, you know. And
good.
It's super nerdy. Like it must be said, it's super nerdy stuff. The dungeon master will like announce when that was a killing blow. So he'll be like, describe your kill, and you always just. You know, then it's just you left with your creative devices of just being told to describe what happened. And, you know, the first time you're just going to be like, stab him in the head. And they'll be like, yeah, you stabbed him in the head. Great job, you know, and yay. And then it will get like, you know, a bit later in the day and people are getting pretty elaborate with their kill shots, you know. People are walking up to them, putting the wand to their head and then just making it explode and shit, you know.
Yeah, okay.
All that sort
fatalities.
Of fun stuff.
Were you using any of the Mortal Kombat fatalities?
Well, you try to keep it contextual. So like, that's a good point, actually. I had a lot to draw on from those Mortal Kombat videos. But because I have a big sword, my idea was I killed this skeleton guard or something. And I said that I twisted the sword so that the flat part was facing the enemy and I just, you know, baseball bat swing him. You know, make the bones shatter.
Yeah.
Because if it was a human or something, you just, you know, cut him with the sword. You just hit him with the sharp bit. But yeah, it was good fun.
You have to plunge the sword into them.
Yeah. We probably got through about maybe 3 or 4 rooms in about, I don't know, 5 hours or something.
And so can characters die? They can, right?
Yeah, we had a pretty dicey sitch. I think one of our party members was got clipped.
What do they do? So they just go home or they just hang around?
There's a way you can recover. And there's probably a way to resurrect at some point in the game. But no, the dungeon master mentioned to us that like he's seen entire wipes in the first room where like they walk in and the whole party gets wiped. And they're all dead, okay. You know.
Short game.
Yeah, short game.
Did you use any psychedelics to overcome any PTSD that you suffered?
No. I didn't really suffer much PTSD from the Dungeons and Dragons sesh.
That's becoming more and more common.
What is?
I was reading an article in The Economist.
Use of psychedelics.
Yeah.
As in mushrooms?
Well, this one I was reading is about Ukraine using psychedelics to fix their scarred soldiers, overcome the trauma.
Yep.
And they were talking about this bloke that got hit there in a Jeep, got hit by a Russian tank shell. He got injuries to his eyes and his heart, apparently, and he was barely able to communicate.
Yep.
And they use ketamine, actually. That's what they're using. Yep. And this article's going on about the astonishing results of ketamine and this psychedelic renaissance, which I keep reading about. And it's interesting that it's being used like on the front line.
Yeah. Why?
Because you would accumulate a lot of stress on the front line. That's where you get messed up.
Yes. And tragically, like it's not something that was like well supported all throughout history, you know?
No.
As in the soldiers, the returning soldiers, whether or not they were taken care of when they were returned mentally, you know, that's a big deal. There was always like this culture around people don't talk about the war, as in like, you know, you might have a grandfather or something who was in the war and they'll be like, oh no, he doesn't talk about that. And you're like, oh, cool. So that trauma's just all in there.
He just lives with
bottled
it,
up in there. Oh, good. That's good. Whereas like, I think nowadays there's the sort of mental health support that is available, I guess, both during and after. Not usually during the trauma though. They're not usually there for that.
Well, that's what I thought. I always thought they use psychedelics as a post-war type thing to sort of help people that are living with this trauma.
During.
Well, this is what they were arguing. Some of them. So this article is saying that some of these people that are so pro psychedelics are arguing they should be using psychedelics to improve battle performance.
Oh God!
And they say they can do this in two ways. One is to prevent depression from developing in frontline soldiers in the first place.
Sure.
Right, which makes so it's like why use it to fix something?
I don't think we're talking about the same thing in the sense that I understand if it's like you're part of your maybe weekly routine or something, or maybe you just get prescribed it or something from your doctor in the army, or whether or not they're just using the shit and then going to the front lines, because I wouldn't think that's a good idea.
Well, that was the second use, is using it in a form of ritual to prepare soldiers for the possibility of death. But that's still not using it on the front line, because they're saying a soldier who accepts death is much more effective warrior and a greater chance of surviving, because they're not going to paralyze. They're not going to sort of
be scared of dying,
be scared or panic in that death moment. They're going to fight. It's pretty intense, hey?
That is really intense. So what's the future then? Just two drugged up armies fighting each other, not scared to die. They'll probably get to the middle and kiss.
Well, I know the Germans were using meth, amphetamines in their blitzkrieg type operation.
Sure.
They would just get high as anything. I mean, and Hitler was known.
Oh yeah, Hitler was on everything.
He was tweaking all the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
so I'm thinking more about going into the army now, because I'm not as worried about the trauma.
No, you think they've got necessary things in place for you?
Yeah, I'll pick the magician.
Are you trying to get trauma so that you can have psychedelics?
No, I'm going to avoid. I'm just going to go straight through the trauma. I'm just going to get, I don't know, a high, and just go out there and have a good time.
Right, and be okay after, because you did all the right things going in.
Yeah. I'll listen to the doctors. I'll listen to the doctors and my army commander. I'm sure they've got my best interests at heart.
Absolutely.
I actually had something very...
modern warfare is running out of time, because the robots are coming, the T-1000s are coming, and all that sort of shit. So, like, the time for using human soldiers is nearly over. So they're trying to get their last bit of experimenting in.
Yeah, experiment with the humans.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I came across something that actually really piqued my interest, if that last thing didn't.
Yeah.
And I don't understand this, so I need you just to kind of hold my hand through this process, because it doesn't actually make a lot of sense to me.
Great. I'm sure it'll make way more sense to me.
So and you will have a lot of questions, because I did, and I haven't. I'll work through what I've got here, and then ask questions as you go, and I don't have the answers.
Great.
There's been a recent discovery of something that we call, or they call, the discoverer calls, the big ring on the sky.
The big ring on the sky.
The big ring on the sky.
That's what he called it. Whatever it is.
That's what she called it. It's a shit name.
Whatever it is. That's what she's gone with.
Well, she actually discovered it's the big ring on the sky.
On the sky.
But this might actually help you, because this is the second thing she's discovered. The first thing was the giant arc on the sky.
She's got two.
This was 2 years ago she discovered the giant arc on the sky. And then just recently, as of this week, she's discovered the big ring on the sky. The big ring on the sky is 9.2. We're going to get into some space numbers now.
Yeah.
And this is why it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because it's hard to conceptualize these things. But 9.2 billion light years from Earth.
Oh, so it's a while away.
Oh, yeah. And it's got a diameter of 1.3 billion light years.
Yes.
And a circumference of 4 billion light years. Which doesn't make any sense to me, because like the diameter – sorry, of course that does make a lot of sense to me, because pi – okay. 2 pi r, yeah. Okay, so if apparently if you step outside, you can't see it with your eyes.
Whose eyes can I see it with?
Well, they detected it using shit.
Yeah, great.
And that's way too complicated. I was reading about this, and they're detecting like photons. Photons just light. But anyway, I can read that to you, but that doesn't make any sense. This is less. So if you could stand outside and look up at it in the sky, which they've detected, it would be the size of 15 full moons. So it's 9.2 billion light years from Earth, but its diameter is that fucking big that it would be the size of 15 full moons. And this is so it's called an ultra large structure.
Yes.
It's the second ultra large structure discovered by this PhD student
at the university. Arch one, and she got the big ring on the sky.
She's got them both, and she's a PhD student, which sort of freaks me out. She's pretty easy on the eyes, actually. She discovered by this woman at the University of Central Lancashire. Her name's Alexia Lopez.
Yep.
So she discovered this giant arc on the sky 2 years ago, and that's 3.3 billion light years across.
Yes, and that was the first megastructure ever found?
The first ultra-large structure that was detected. And freakishly, that these are actually very close together. They're described as being in the same cosmological neighborhood. Yeah. They're only 12 degrees apart on the sky. So 360 degrees is kind of like the whole, 180 degrees, I guess, would be the whole sky, I'm guessing. So 12 degrees is a fraction of that, a very small fraction. So you can imagine in the night sky, you can sort of see them both in the general direction. If you could see them, that they would both be quite close together. And apparently there's no good explanations for this. This is where I need your explanation.
There's no good explanations for the megastructures?
No. Apparently the baryonic acoustic oscillations doesn't make any sense.
No.
The conformal cyclic cosmology doesn't make any sense.
Not making any sense either. Holy shit.
And not even the cosmic strings theory makes any sense.
Holy shit. Well, I've got you, man. I think I've got a pretty good idea. We're talking about some like Apophis level sort of species of aliens who created megastructures they're just base builders, and it's robots creating it, surely.
Robots creating robots?
Robots creating robots who are creating the mega base.
The mega base. Because what's weird is they're so close together that there is the possibility that these actually form one large structure, which is even more wild.
Yeah. But you're talking about something that's 4 billion. Is that what did you get that right?
9.2 billion light years from Earth.
No. How wide is it?
It's 1.3 billion light years diameter.
So
and the arc is 3.3 billion light years across.
Billion.
These
are big things.
They are. So apparently cosmologists calculate the current theoretical size limit of structures in our universe. Don't know how they calculate that. Is 1.2 billion light years.
So they're already wrong.
Both these structures are larger than what people calculate as being the theoretical limit of size in the universe.
What does that mean?
This has been described as a cosmological mystery.
Can't you just have a big thing? If you're in space, can't you just be a big thing?
Apparently,
if we had a ball of shit in the middle of space and we just kept adding to it, we just had daily trips to add to the pile, it'd be okay.
That's what I think. But this is a quote. From current cosmological theories, we didn't think structures of this scale were possible. We could expect maybe one exceedingly large structure in all our observable universe, yet the big ring and the giant arc are two huge structures that are even cosmological neighbours, which is extraordinarily fascinating.
What are we dealing with here? So is this a Wikipedia page you're looking at?
This is an article that came out.
Can you pull up a Wikipedia for it, like copy paste the name of it?
Yeah.
And just see what the alternate theories are? Because this article's it's given us nothing. It's telling us that all the test results came back negative for making sense. But I don't really know what that means.
Do you want me to send you a Wikipedia article on the big ring or the bling ring?
Yeah, give us the big, well, both now. I've got a general idea of what the bling ring is.
Okay, this is what Wikipedia says, and it's from just a week ago. The big ring is a ring-shaped, large-scale structure formed by galaxies and galaxy clusters with a diameter of 1.3 billion light years, located 9.2 billion light years away.
It just said it's formed by galaxies.
Yeah, I don't know. It is discovered in 2024 by Alexia Lopez, a PhD student at the University of Central Lancashire. In 2021, she discovered the giant arc, a similar structure located in the same region. Lopez has no theoretical model to account for the existence of the gigantic galactic formations, stating neither of these two ultra-large structures is easy to explain in our current understanding of the universe. That's the whole article.
Bloody hell. There's no info.
No, there's some links. That's it. The bling ring,
yes,
also known as Hollywood Hills Burglar Bunch,
yes,
was a group of 7 teenagers and young adults based in and around Calabasas, California, convicted of multiple thefts.
Oh, they got a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, they stole some stuff from. Much of the stolen property belongs to Paris Hilton. It was broken into several times.
Oh.
Yeah, but anyway, so I'm getting distracted. I mean, Alexia, I love your work.
Yes. But what the hell is this thing?
Yeah, but I mean, you're right. It sounds like just lots of galaxies, but she seems to be lumping them all together as one
superstructure.
And she makes the comment, the data we're looking at is so far away that it's taken half the universe's life to get to us. So from a time when the universe was about 1.8 times smaller. Yeah.
So it didn't happen recently, but it didn't happen that long ago.
Well, it happened a long time ago, but it's just taken a long time for the data to arrive.
I hate spaceship, man. Like, you know, I have a hard enough time just with space and time generally, but...
Okay, this is the last comment I'm going to make about it. The big ring appears as an almost perfect ring in the sky, but Alexia's further analysis reveals that it has more of a coil shape, like a corkscrew that is aligned face-on with Earth. The giant arc, which is approximately 1/15 of the radius of the observable universe, shows as an enormous, nearly symmetrical crescent of galaxies in the remote universe.
Interesting. But just me thinking logically here, as you get further away from the galactic, let's say the universe center, whatever that is, as you get further away from the center, surely it becomes more sparse, meaning the distance between two galaxies would be bigger, right? Because you're getting pushed apart from the middle, right? So the further we look towards the center, the more clusters we're going to find, right?
No. I know what you're saying. When I was reading the article,
they're closer together because there's not enough.
You know how I said that there's no good explanations, and one of them's the I think it's the conformal cyclic commodity. She says the reason what happens is there's this idea that if you've seen there's this principle, I need to find it, that if you've seen like enough of the universe, there's nothing that's going to deviate radically from what you've already observed because it's somewhat uniform. You know, the idea that you've seen enough, this thing blows that out of the water in that it actually breaks the principle of uniformity because it's so radically different from our current understanding of the universe. Apparently, this is what the scientists are telling me, and I don't know. Yeah. It sounds like Jesus to me.
Oh,
it's sounding a lot like Jesus.
What, the corkscrew?
You know, it's just bullshit.
What the
like
scientists?
I can't independently verify this stuff. So as far as I'm concerned,
well, can't we just? And I know I do this all the time, but can't we just pop on some glasses and see this thing with the naked eye? Can't we just pop on some glasses? Can you pop on any glasses?
Apparently not. Oh, now that you've brought it up, I have to read to you how they detected it because it made me laugh. Okay, using the same method that led to the discovery of the giant arc, they observed the intervening magnesium-2 absorption systems backlit by quasars.
Yes.
Which are remote superluminous galaxies. These very distant, very bright quasars act like giant lamps shining a spotlight through a distant but much fainter intervening galaxies that otherwise would go unseen.
Makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
And Alexia is presenting her findings.
I love it how they simplified it down to that makes them into little lamps.
Yeah.
They're like
giant lamps.
They're like little lamps.
So she's presenting all this stuff at the 243rd meeting of the American Astronomical Society on Jan 10. So that's happened.
Thank God.
When was this article? So this article must have been, it says January 16, and she's presenting January 10. You think they would mention what happened? Was she booed off stage?
Yeah, likely. Controversial opinions.
Hey, do you have any ads?
Ads?
Yeah.
No, I haven't got. We're not sponsored this week.
Oh, we actually have a sponsorship.
Do we?
Yeah, we have a sponsorship. Yeah, so we can't keep producing this content without the help of our sponsors.
Wow, it's dire.
And if you like our content, you have to continue to support our sponsors by buying their products.
Right. That's usually how it works. Wait, no, that's not how it works.
No, that is. Yeah, you buy their products, you support the sponsors. That's why they're sponsoring us.
Right.
Yeah, it's just, we're repping the brand. So our good friends at NASA and Lockheed Martin have released a new revolutionary supersonic jet.
No way.
The X-59 Quest.
And we're giving one away?
Yes.
Well, no.
Now that it's here, we don't know yet.
Okay.
Maybe. We haven't confirmed that's...
Okay.
We weren't going to mention that on this occasion.
I can't believe you didn't tell me that NASA and Lockheed called about a sponsorship.
I know. I thought I'd...
Wow.
Just bring it up in this point. So I know what you're saying, like you've got an airplane.
Yes.
But this isn't just an airplane.
Okay.
It's an X-plane.
Oh, what does that mean?
The X stands for experimental.
Okay.
It's been said by others in the industry to be the manifestation of a collaborative genius.
What does that mean?
It's the culmination of decades of research.
Yes.
It's constructed using radically different manufacturing approaches, including new augmented reality systems, robotic drilling, and 3D modeling techniques.
What's it for?
It breaks the sound barrier without the thunderous sonic booms that typically occur when an aircraft goes supersonic.
How have they managed to do that?
Through radically different manufacturing approaches.
Okay.
So the Quest makes a much quieter and a much cooler thump, similar to the sound of a car door slamming heard from indoors. It's going to revolutionize supersonic flight and aviation in general.
Wow.
It is so cool and revolutionary that it doesn't even have a forward-facing window.
Okay, it's all relying on VR, the augmented reality.
It certainly is. It's called external vision system.
So you can't see out the cockpit.
You can't even see you can't see shit.
Can it go to space?
No, but it's
what the fuck is NASA doing on
it? So it's got a camera mounted on the front of this thing because it goes so fucking fast. And it's not even to do with the speed. It's to do with the it's trying to be quiet, and for some reason they can't have a window on it. So it's a camera mounted on the front of it.
I think you want to be in the video game if you're in that thing.
You get the full video game experience in this thing.
Put it this way: there's a lot of airplanes where the pilot can't see a lot. Like they can see above them, they can see below them. They've got like holes in the feet area where you can see through there. so that, you know, if someone was below you. But other than that, can't see shit. If you had a, you know, essentially like you're on a spaceship at this point. You're just on the bridge, yeah, of your airplane. You're on the bridge.
Yes.
You put your headset on, and you've got 360 degrees of rotation all the way around you, and you can see everything.
Yeah. Why do spaceships have windows? That's such an old-fashioned thing, isn't it?
Well, we didn't have VR back then, really good VR, so they would never have thought.
Think about the Star Trek ship, whatever that. What's that one called?
Enterprise,
right? You're on the bridge of the Enterprise looking at fucking windows. Even Star Wars, you're all looking at windows. Doesn't make any sense.
Well, it does, because they were made in the 70s, the 60s. That's what it does.
This thing, so the Journey, this X59, or 59, it's better than the X58.
Yes.
By at least the latest, by at least one. It's the latest in a long line of planes that have revolutionized aviation.
Yes.
And they're saying that even among X planes, the X59 is special.
Of course they'd say that.
So you can have the latest, quietest supersonic jet. I don't have the price.
It still thumps a bit if you're looking for a bit of thump.
Yeah, there's a thump. There's a nice gentle thump.
Yeah.
So apparently they actually reckon they're testing it over. So the idea is the reason why it's going to revolutionise aviation is you can use it over built up areas and not like terrify everyone.
That does terrify me that they're going to be using them and will be able to do it more silently now. Like, that's more terrifying.
I thought you'd like this as well.
Like if they went newest product straight off the shelf. It's called the mothership, and they just press this button, and this big cloaking device comes off a massive mothership, and you're like, that thing's been parked there for 7 weeks. Nobody knew. How good is that? And you're like, that's scary as fuck.
That's development. That's going to be the X, 250.
Yeah. No, I'm just looking at Independence Day. I'm just thinking about Independence Day.
Well, the X range, if you will, started in 1947 with the X1.
Yep.
Don't know what
classic.
That was doing.
The classic, the OG.
Don't know what that's. I wonder what that was doing to be so experimental. Bell X1, the X1 aircraft, nicknamed Glamorous Glennis.
Yeah, you're not going to have a name like Killer Plane.
Yeah. Yeah, conceived during 1944. So, yeah, I mean, the amount of stuff that came out of World War II, it's the war that needed to happen.
You're talking from a technological perspective?
Yeah, I was just trying to be a bit controversial. And the Cold War that followed? Yeah, I mean, I'm actually watching Nazi megastructures on Disney Plus at the moment.
Yeah, really is that the one where they built really big things?
Pretty much.
They don't talk about building trains and stuff, do they?
Well, I'm only 3 episodes in, but for some reason it starts at season 3. I don't know what happened to seasons 1 and 2. But it goes to like season 6 or something.
They had to do that one? Or are they just talking about buildings?
Well, no, they were talking about submarines. As I said, I've only watched 3 episodes, but I've been thinking about submarines a lot because I've been swimming.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get more streamlined in the water. And that's really one thing they were trying to do, because early on the German U-boats were, World War II was sort of the beginning of the submarine journey, if you like. And Germany had they're called submersibles rather than submarines because they can go underwater for a little bit. We were talking about submarines not so long ago.
Mm.
And I thought diesel submarines needed to be regularly go to the surface.
Yeah.
To use oxygen in combustion, right? So it turns out they do. Imagine. So we're talking about diesel submarines in 2020, right? So they're a bit different from diesel submarines in 1945 or 1940. No doubt. Yeah. So what the diesel submarine in 1940, the German U-boat, what they did is they had diesel engines driving this thing above the surface, and they had basically hundreds of, for lack of a better understanding, car batteries, like tons and tons and tons of car batteries in the submarine. And when they go down, they can't run their diesel engines anymore. They've charged up their batteries, and they can go pretty slow underwater. And they're submersible in the sense that they can go down briefly, maybe for, I'm guessing, maybe a couple of hours, half a day, maybe, and if they're actually actively moving around, eventually they have to surface so they can power their diesel engines again and start charging the batteries.
Yeah.
That's still how diesel submarines work. We've got diesel submarines, but they have way better batteries.
Yeah. All the technology would have got better.
Yeah, so they can maybe stay down for potentially months. And that's why a nuclear submarine's so powerful, because it doesn't have to come up.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to. It runs on it doesn't need oxygen to generate.
It has an operating life. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it was fascinating because what happened is the German U-boats were dominant early on in the war. And then what happened is, it's always an arms race, right? They figured out how to shrink radar to the size they could put it in an aircraft. So then the Allies could scan for these boats. And then because they're quite slow underwater, they chase them. They can only stay down for so long. And
away from the surface.
Yeah, away from the surface, and they're fucked, right? So they used to chase these things down. So there was a change in the power of the U-boats, where they went from the hunted to the hunter to the hunted, that old chestnut.
Yes.
But then, so they were trying to figure out how can we need these submersibles to improve and get faster underwater so they don't get chased down. And then they developed the V-21, and it went into production about halfway through the war. And this thing was far bigger, far more, the batteries were way better, and it was actually faster than, they streamlined the whole, it's an engineering marvel. And actually all modern submarines are sort of based on this V-21.
Right.
Well, they may have changed somewhat now, but it was really it was a brilliant, conceptually from an engineering point of view, amazing. It goes faster than boats on the surface, and it goes, I think, 3 or 4 times faster than the old U-boats. And It could fire 18 massive torpedoes in 18 minutes. It had an automatic reloading system.
Holy shit.
And they started development of these things. It's amazing how they were developing them in different places, like massive bunkers to protect the development of these submarines.
Absolutely. It'd be the same as Oppenheimer. It'd be the same as them separating the nuclear stuff.
Yes, and they did it all around different parts of Germany, so that if one place, it's like built-in redundancy. So if they take out one manufacturing plant, they're building it in like 9 segments, and each of those 9 segments is being done in 3 or 4 different places in Germany.
Yeah.
All on river systems, so you can transfer the piece down the river to some kind of facility on the shore where they can then put it all together. Just listening to it, I was like, man, this is fucking crazy. And then so the V-21, they made 119 of them, but it took so long to train up teams. At the end of the war, they only had 2 active V-21s.
What?
Even though they had 119 produced, and it never fired a torpedo in battle.
Oh my God. But
and
it had all this cool automatic shit.
Yeah, all the cool automation. Apparently it would have just wiped Ally convoys and things. It would have, and it's faster and it had longer battery life, that it was untouchable in the water. Wow. That's how they describe it.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, apparently they just needed more time, but obviously they were losing on other fronts. Like that, as far as the submarine battle would have gone, because I don't think the other nations had submarines. Maybe they were in development. Like, did the US have submarines in World War II?
I don't know, but on the technology that first got introduced in wars, I'm pretty sure like Vietnam was the first war where they used helicopters, and that was a game changer. Because up until then, I don't think helicopters were kicking around in war too much. Not as an attack thing. It's mainly as maybe they'd use it for rescues and stuff. I don't know.
Or a transport type thing.
Yeah, transport. But no, not sure about the other one. Not sure about the subs. Who had the subs?
I mean, the V-21 is kind of like what the X-59 is.
It's pretty amazing that we're in 2023 and there's not shit in space. Like proper shit in space. It's pretty amazing that there aren't battle cruisers in orbit.
Yeah, the fact it hasn't been weaponized that much.
That's good.
We don't have a golden eye that we know of. I know we're close to the end of the episode. I had one thing that was a carryover from last week, actually.
Yeah, please.
We were talking about Macaulay Culkin.
Yes.
And Home Alone.
Yes.
And we mentioned, just briefly that he was sort of a Michael Jackson defender, which was somewhat interesting. I went on his Wikipedia and out of curiosity, and I found something that's just sound. It just piqued my interest, right? So he is co-founder of a New York comedy rock band called the Pizza Underground. He was a vocalist in 2013, and I was like, "Oh, that's a unfortunate name, the Pizza Underground." I thought, because I was like, because of the Pizzagate conspiracy, right?
Sure.
Then I Googled Pizzagate conspiracy. I was like, that went viral in 2016. His band was the Pizza Underground from 2013 to 2016.
Yeah.
And Pizzagate, just for anyone, is a sort of, I guess, debunked. Some would say, most would say debunked conspiracy theory, but went viral during the 2016 US election about a pedophilia ring that was linked to members of the Democratic Party. Something about like the basement of a pizza joint called Comet Pizza in Washington.
A whole bunch of stuff happened.
A whole bunch of stuff. It's interesting. It's an interesting read.
Yeah.
But man, I was like, Macaulay Culkin in a band called the Pizza Underground is very unfortunate.
That is true. It's unfortunate. It could be just, I mean, obviously.
It's just a coincidence, but it's just a very unfortunate coincidence, I thought.
Absolutely. All right, good job. That was fun. Good job. We will see you next week for the next episode. More stuff next week.